Test. Okay.
Yeah, everything's coming through.
Alright. Alright. 3, 2, 1, Magoo. Hi, welcome to Fusion 0%. And it's called 0% because you pick up 0 item expansions. And major upgrades don't count towards your percentage counter. But you think having all the major upgrades would make it easier, but the difficulty of this category just comes from not dying, because lots of enemies late game, or basically throughout the game, average 50 damage, 40 to 50. And so the reason I'm playing on the English version is it's more because I can do a zip that's only works in this version of the game because it's been patched in the Japanese version. The Japanese version, just from text alone, is 3 minutes faster. But the only way you can do this category is to do a really stupid trick that is almost impossible to pull off. Playing on English makes it way more viable for like marathons and speed runs. So with this category, when I'm doing actual attempts, I finish less than 1% of my runs because I die a lot, like during mid to late game. Like especially a few bosses are really difficult. Oops. Like Nightmare kills you in 3 hits, and he's pretty unpredictable sometimes. So we're off to get the missiles. Missiles are not useful in this. Actually they are, but they're not as useful as like in other Metroid games. They sure? Okay. I pressed the no. You can only have 2 on the screen at once, and their cooldown progressively gets higher. So throughout this category, you finish the game with 99 health, 10 missiles, and 10 power bombs. That's all you get. This is the data room. There's a bunch of data rooms located around this station. This one gives you missiles. So the way the game handles everything is with event flags. There's 106 event flags in this game, and each time you do something, that increments by 1. Which so if you sequence broke and did something out of order, there's no way you would basically stuff up that event system. So you technically after high jump you can go fight Yakuza and Notori, which give you plasma and space jump. But because the event flag's not set properly, it doesn't actually give you anything. It just unlocks the level doors. This is an idol. It likes to shoot things. There we go. So those can shoot up to 4 times. More likely to shoot 1 to 3 times. Then 0 and 4 times. This is Arachnus. And you don't want him to roll. That was a Arachmus. Pretty easy boss. I also did a thing in the fight called a double. So I was basically trying to get the missiles to hit on the same, 2 missiles to hit on the same frame. So basically, when you finish a boss, there's a core X, which is the ball thing. And with that particular one, you have to shoot 3 into it, like 3 rounds of missiles. But if you can shoot 2 at the same time into it, it counts as 2 rounds. So you only have to wait 2 rounds before it dies, instead of 3. Same goes with the idols. The later correctors take normally 6 missiles, but you can finish it in 3 rounds of missiles. This is our best buddy, the SAX.
Sax.
Its favorite instrument is the saxophone, because I'm funny. So you can open that door before you go down the elevator and it will still blow it up. Bagoo. Alright, Sector 1. Goal is to kill 5 stabilizers, get charge beam. Now the stabilizers take 3 missiles or 1 full charge shot. I say 4 as in all the parts of your charge shot have to hit, because there's 3 parts to a charge beam shot. And your charge beam does 26 damage a full shot. He's the first stabilizer. So depending on how fast you kill him, determines how fast this door opens. That was the slow cycle, so I had to wait 5 seconds. Oh, that was unlucky. So to be really careful, you need full health. You always want full health in Sector 1, because otherwise you won't get enough missiles to kill all the stabilizers and get past a few rooms. So I'm gonna jump over this guy. I don't normally kill those guys, but that's just a precaution. So the way ammo drops work in this game is, if you have full health, you're always guaranteed a missile drop. And if you're not, it's basically 50-50. Alright, so that Chozo statue right there is officially called Elephant Bird in the manual because of a translation error. So there you go. Now we have Charge Beam. Charge Beam has 3 parts to it, and altogether do 26 damage. So the 2 parts that you fire do 10, and the flare underneath does 6, which is useful for series in Sector 4. Instead of taking like 10,000 hits to die, you can just kill them in 2 hits. So that's the last stabilizer. And now we can leave this sector forever until we come back an hour later. Alright, so now we're up to Sector 2, and the difficulty curve just skyrockets because the Sector 2 has enemies called Zoros, and they do like above 45 damage, which means you die in 3 hits. Spooky. So this is just the text that tells you about SAX and how it escaped, and then it tells you to get bombs. Alright, so this is the first of 4 security locks we have to open. The blue ones. Alright, so this is bombs. Now bombs aren't as useful as in like say Super Metroid or Zero Mission, because bombs have a 1 second cooldown. No, bombs have a 1 second timer, and which means it's basically impossible to bomb jump. And even if you could, you can't bomb jump midair. You don't gain any height if you bomb jump while midair. So they purposely made it so you cannot bomb jump. You also can't single wall jump. So yeah, that did 46 damage. Alright, so here comes Zazabi. Alright, because we have charge beam now, these just take one hit. It's still random how long it takes them to open. But it's just a lot easier now. This is Zazabi. He looks like many things I can't say here. So Zazabi likes to jump, and it's random how many times it jumps. It can do up to 12 wasted jumps, and a minimum of 3 wasted jumps. That wasn't too bad. So now we have high jump. High jump lets you jump high, if that wasn't obvious enough. It also gives you springboard, which is nice. You can go bounce everywhere now. Whoops. So when you kill a boss, it drops the item. If you notice, it goes to a predetermined location. So what you try and do is kill it as close to that spot as possible. So it has less distance to travel. And if you do it pixel perfect, it just spawns straight away. Well, not really pixel perfect. This stream you can actually jump over the SAX if you wanted to, but I'm not going to because you have to do really precise springboard jumps, and if you make a mistake you die instantly. Because touching the SAX is instant death, getting shot is instant death, etc. So I think touching it does 300 damage, so it's basically instant death. But now we're done with Sector 4 and 2, we go straight to Sector 4. And we'll go fight Ceres, our best snake friend. Snake. Here's another monologue. Magoo. Alright, so Sector 4 is the only sector you enter going left, for whatever reason. Right. Sector 4 is not that bad. It's a lot tamer than Sector 2. But it's by no means like a walk in the park. Alright, I'm just gonna save here as a precaution. Don't need to really save, but might as well do it anyway. Because when you die in this game, you go back to the save point. So if I died and not saved, I would have to start the whole game again. And I don't want to do that if I die. Alright, nice. Door. So this is a series, and if all goes well, we should die in 2 hits. The series only has 50 health, and your full charge shot does 26. There you go. So series is very quick if you do it correctly. Otherwise, it's just a long, tedious fight. You keep missing. There are some patterns you can't actually hit. Especially ones when it just arcs left and doesn't go all the way around the room again. Like those patterns, you just have to sit and wait for the next one. Alright, so you definitely don't want to miss this Shine Spark, which is this. So if you don't do that, underneath is a missile tank, and it's pretty easy to grab. So you kind of don't want to miss that. That's called a low height Shine Spark. You're not supposed to be able to fit through that with the Shine Spark, but if you Shine Spark 1 pixel off the ground, it will just let you do it anyway. Which is nice, because it makes that room very quick. Whoops. Alright, so we don't come back here for a while. Not unless after an hour, after the hour mark. So coming up Sector 3, and this is like where the magic comes from, and this is why this category is a thing. There's a quote-unquote required missile tank that developers try to make you, to try and force you to grab. Like the lowest intended percentage is 1%. But you can go around it by, you can do a stupid stupid hard shine spark that takes like a minute to do. And you have to do 5 frame perfect jumps and landings, and a pixel perfect jump, and then a pixel perfect shine spark with 7 frames of error. Like you have 7 frames of leeway. So that was the old way of doing it, but there's a better way to do it now, which is mostly why I'm playing on this version of the game, because it only works on this version of the game. I don't think this will work. No. Alright, so here's the next security doors. And it's the green ones. Everyone loves green doors. Ow. Whoops. Ah, that's not good. So you can break the speed block and store a shine spark, which is pretty nice. Alright, so this is the missile tank. We call him Bob. Bob the missile tank. This is why it's called Bob Skip. That was too early, not too late. There you go. That's Bob Skip. That's the whole reason why this category is a thing. Because you're normally forced to pick that up. Whoa. Easy there. So one thing to note is if you skip that missile tank, it's permanent. You're stuck permanent 99% because the missile tank despawns. Because the game assumes you already picked it up, so it disappears. So there's no way you can get 100% down. Not like that you would need to or want to. This is box. That wasn't too bad. This is box. He has no randomness to it. There's no luck to that fight. He will always do the same thing if you always do the same thing. So that's why that fight is really consistent. The same thing with Nightmare. Some bosses have no luck to them. It's basically what you do determines the outcome. Alright, so now we're gonna sector 6. And Sector 6 says is where we get the various suit, but it also has Isex in it from Sector 5, and they do like 86 damage or something around there. But with my current health, they will one shot kill me, so you don't want to get touched by them. So I'm actually gonna I have to actually pick up. Actually, no. So if you don't have missiles, this is what you do. So we're gonna be really careful here. Don't beef it. Alright, we should be fine. Oh no! Oh no! Nah. That was totally preventable. We just do all that again. That's step number 1. This is why I saved, because it's very easy to die.
So, we get to
Alright, let's try this again. Two of my missiles changed. That's good. So that fight's normally 10 seconds long, but too many of my missiles missed. So the fight went for way longer than it should have. Alright, here. Let's try Sector 6 again. Hopefully it goes a lot better this time. So Sector 6 has Mega X, and Mega X is really annoying because he's really big, you cannot see him off screen. You pretty much have to guess where he is, otherwise you probably die. The difficulty from Mega X comes from where you guess all the guesswork, basically. Let's take the 6th time. Alright, let's try it. Make sure I don't die this time. There we go. That's better. Alright, so now let's just hope I don't die after this. Hello. Hello. Goodbye. This is one of the, I think, the only one where you run directly past it. Or if you don't do this, if you don't count the 2 one, I should say. What am I doing? If I die, this is like a very important save. Alright. So 4 bings, that's the worst luck you can get on an idol. Alright, so we want to jump into Mega X, but hopefully it doesn't do 50 damage. There we go. That's a Mega X. He gives you the berry suit, which means now I can go into Sector 5 and get the ice missiles. So it's random which way these enemies go. When the room loads, they can either move left or right. And depending on which way they move determines how fast you get out of Sector 6. And those weren't good at all. Sector 5 time. So these rooms aren't full of that much enemies, but that first room there changes right after you get ice missile, or when you come back for the second visit, more accurate. Alright, so the flying dudes are called waivers, and sometimes this one can get in your way. And he wasn't in my way this time. Alright, and same with this room. Yeah, they're all in my way. Alright, here's the third security room we go to. The last one we won't see for like another 30 minutes or something. That's all good. So if you do this room fast enough, that top guy doesn't shoot at you. So now we have ice missiles, which is more like of a downgrade because now things take 2 hits to kill instead of 1 missile. But now we can freeze things and do some cool stuff with ice missiles. What? So there's a thing in this sector called pulling a secret key. When you unlock the doors, because you entered this room so many times that you can easily forget to pick up the ice missiles, and you go all the way back to the start of the sector, and then the computer tells you to go back. Yeah, this is a meltdown.
Emergency in Sector 3. Emergency
It's basically
in Sector 3.
you go back to sector 3 and you go to the main boiler. It's also where you get wide beam. I'm also gonna save because it's pretty easy to die.
Emergency in Sector 3. To main boiler explosion.
6 minutes. 6 minutes is pretty generous because it only takes me like a minute and a half. So I waited there because if I would have climbed up, I would have died. It would have hit me, stretched out, and hit me again. That's game over. So whenever it does that, I just wait. Double. Alright, so now that that segment's done, that gives us some wide beam. I call it onion ring beam because that's what it looks like. And it's definitely not the spacer beam. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can get this really tricky climb up this room. And nice, that was pretty good. Alright, so because we done Meltdown, we can now finally leave this section and go back to the main deck, go save the animals, and then we can come back and get power bombs. Now I gotta be careful because muscle memory makes me pick up items. It's very easy to pick up if I'm not looking. There's actually a faster way to climb that room, but I'm bad and I can't do it. Now we play the waiting game. We'll see how long it takes them to run at the door. There we go. So that was slightly below average. Ooh. So this is what I mean, I'm not supposed to get happy. But in every other category, you go down there and pick up item. There's also an item right after the main deck elevator. Here's another monologue. Alright, so going back to Sector 5 again to go get power bombs. And the computer's like, hey, the computer tells you to get the power bombs twice in like 5 minutes. Because everyone's too forgetful these days. Alright, so now we have power bombs. You can actually collect power bomb tanks before actually getting these power bombs, but the way the items works is you only get items when the event flag is on the correct was set on the correct flag. So like say event 88 is like give power bombs or something. So if you pick up a power bomb tank before getting the main power bombs, it doesn't actually give you power bombs. It does increase your capacity of power bombs. Okay. Must have been standing in the wrong spot to set that up. If you stand in the wrong spot or start running from the wrong spot, that setup doesn't work for whatever reason. Right, so instead of going up all the way up the elevator, the developer is gonna stop halfway. This is the first time in the game where it doesn't tell you where to go. These are the gamers. There's actually gamers in this game. Then this is Ridley. Bye, Ridley. Right, let's see if I win the lottery. Yes, we do. That room is basically a gamble because you can either get good luck and not get hit, or bad luck and get hit like twice in that room. And the spitters do at least 80 damage or something. So 2 hits and you're dead, basically. So I got really lucky there and didn't get hit twice. Or once, actually. So now we're off to fight Yakuza. And I'm gonna save. I didn't save just before because it's just faster to do the text and then save. Because if I save before, I have to read all that text over again. But this, I don't have to. Alright, there's 2 bosses coming up. I'll tell you, one of them's called Yakuza. And Yakuza's a big spider. And the other one is this energy tank. Then we beat it easily. The evil energy tank. This room's pretty scary too, because if they're in bad spots, they will hit you just like how it hit me this time. Is the next idol, and it just opens right away. Nice. So I can go around the room 1 to 4 times. Go around 1 to 4 times before it opens its mouth. And it went around 4 times. Yes, it went. Okay. It can go around there. So I stuffed up the setup. Which means it's going to go around the room again. Don't be an 8 round. It's an 8 round. Nice. delay the power bomb to make the F stop moving. And that was Yakuza. And Yakuza is one of the hardest bosses in this category because you have to stand under it and shoot up with your charge beam, and it's pretty much the safest way to do it. It's also it's basically the only way you can do it safely. Now, Yakuza has 1,000 health, if I recall correctly. And when you set it down to 500, it starts its second phase. But doesn't matter how much damage you do before it starts second phase, it will always reset to 500. But if you can get it to 0, the boss will die, and the tool assisted run takes advantage of that. So the 100% tool assisted run kills Yakuza without it ever reaching to its second phase, which is pretty nice by abusing how the boss works. So you're supposed to go in that left room, but you can just shoot down and just keep going down. Alright. Those are key hunters. Their stingers do 110 damage. So you don't want to get hit by it. This is Notori. You basically just keep shooting at it. Also, if I stand here, the left guy doesn't shoot at me for whatever reason. You should be dead. So that was the Tori. It's a pretty easy boss. You just basically shoot it till it dies. It doesn't really do much other than just stand there and shoot plasma shots at you. So it's pretty easy to avoid. It's a pretty tame fight. The next fight though is brutally difficult. I'm going to attempt the fast strat, and if I don't get it, I will be doing this marathon safe strat, which is like a couple minutes slower. With Nightmare's a big run ender, because you can either fight in 2 ways. You can do it the fast way, which is like going on the left, grabbing onto the railing, it's on the wall, and keep shooting it. Or you can do it the safe way of making it fly around in a circle for like minutes, which is pretty fun. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed Sector 5 before, because we're going back again. Good old Sector 5. So this visit to Sector 5 is different because there's a layout change in majority of Sector 5. I don't trust that I won't die because the next segment is really easy to die in. I'm slightly amazed I didn't get hit falling down there. Nice. So that used to be a red door, and when you go back there earlier it's a red door, but it's actually not a red door, it's just a solid block. It's not, there's not even a door transition behind it. It's just decoration. The next nightmare, the upcoming boss, is notorious for ending 0%. Because it can kill you in 2 hits, and he's pretty unpredictable sometimes. But hopefully, if I manipulate him properly, he should not kill me. Because Nightmare has no luck to it, there's no randomness, there's no nothing. It's the same as Fox, it will do... if you do the same thing, Nightmare will always do the same thing. So I'm gonna opt for the fast strat first. I didn't know what he was doing for a second. No! Ah!
Boxed in. No escape.
He was only like 5 shots from death. That's stupid. Alright, we're doing the slow strat, which is the safest strat. Okay, good. So this is the cheap strat. Now the way Nightmare works is he only stops moving if the screen is fully scrolled to the left. So by keeping the screen scrolled to the right, he will just keep doing this, which is basically means it's impossible for me to die. But the downside is this takes 10,000 years. And I do not opt for this when I do attempts. Alright, this is hurting my thumb now. Please die. Should be dead any time. Probably less than 5 hits. So that's Nightmare, and this you can see why it's one of the main run enders of this category. Like if he decides to go somewhere where you don't want him to go, it's basically run over. So now that we have the hardest part out of the way, this should be a lot more easier now. Or we can just die to the fish. We can't die to the 1% fish. Beat the hardest boss and then die to the fish. This is lower sector 4. It has the best music. It's a shame you can't hear it. But this is the last security lock. Here you go. So now we have unlocked all the doors, and now Adam's gonna be angry at us. fast strat is to shoot a missile and try and freeze it, but that does a lot of damage if I don't get it. That's not bad. We just go the back way. Just go down here instead. I must have jumped. I jumped way too late. At least I can do this now. So there is a difference in this version and the Japanese version. This room is actually different from the Japanese version. The middle of that room's a lot thicker, and one of the tunnels is missing. Alright, now we have diffusion missiles and the most useless item in the game. They only use twice. Never use them again. You can beat the game without firing a single diffusion missile. Like, that's how useless they are. I bet you can also get 100% without it. Alright, so Sector 6 is not too hard. I'm gonna save anyway though. But basically, we've just got Sector 6, then we go back to Sector 1, and then it's endgame. And the hardest thing about endgame is the last boss does 100 damage. It's basically instant death. So I'm just gonna make sure I don't screw up the fight. Otherwise it's a huge backtrack. So this is the room where you fight Box, but Box won't spawn yet until you go all the way down here.
Warning, no entry without authorization. Warning, no entry without authorization. Warning, no entry without authorization.
Alright, this is Megarek, Box 2. Alright, so that was Box 2. Take it very safe. That's Mega X. Box 2, sorry. Why do I have Mega X on mine? Don't know. Okay, Box 2 gives you Wave Beam.
Warning, no entry.
And Wave Beam's not even stronger than Plasma Beam, so...
Warning, no entry.
I think the only thing that's stronger about Wave Beam is,
Warning, no entry without authorization.
flare underneath your charge shot.
Warning.
and you're
No
charging.
entry without authorization.
So it's not really much of an upgrade other
Warning.
than
No entry without authorization.
this is the restricted lag. And I hope you guys like lag. Lag is fun. Because you can lag the game really hard here.
Fire alert. This sector will soon be locked. 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
Isolation
Not gonna make it.
lockdown.
I barely made that. Basically, once you leave that room, you can never go back to it. So you enjoy it while it lasts. Alright, so we're now on main deck again. And now the next elevator is going to take us back to the Sector 1. But it's the back entrance to Sector 1. So there's one more boss and it's Ridley. Luckily Ridley's really, really easy. The way they've programmed Ridley's sound effects is that Ridley's sound effects will actually clip the audio. So it sounds really awful. You're actually supposed to shoot their backs, but the way they've programmed it is the game only checks if you and the pirate are facing each other. So you can just shoot and turn around and it will damage it. It's like if an intern programmed that. It's pretty lazy programming. Alright, here's Ridley. Wow. That's good. Wow. I really screwed up the timing there. the hardest doubles again. I missed them all. Alright, there we go. Now we've got rid of the lead. So now we, this is end game. We go straight to the end of the game. Like text, because here's 3 minutes of text. 3 whole minutes for endgame. It's like the game felt like you weren't getting enough text, so they put it all at the end. I should explain like how text mashing works. You can't just keep mashing buttons. You have to, I mash the down button and then time my A presses. Otherwise, the text doesn't scroll fast. So you have to do it in a very you have to do it in a way that you can advance the text, then press A to make the text scroll fast. Any objections, lady? I do. This game's bad. %, you used to go up these elevators to go to endgame. But we just found out if we go a different route, it's 45 seconds faster and skips these 2 elevator rides. Okay, no, late, please. don't think I saved, no. Oops. Oops. I should save, right? Because I don't want to do like 10 minutes again, so let's see. So, if you played this before, you would know that SAX is a really long fight that takes so many shots to kill, something like that. It's supposed to take like 20, 25 shots or something. You can just shoot it 5 times and die. Oh, I don't know. Setting up those missiles are hard when you don't have missiles. And now we're up to end game.
Propulsion sequence activated. Destination planet SR 388. Propulsion sequence activated. Destination planet SR 388.
You got this shine spark, which is only possible if you shine spark 1 pixel off the ground. So you have 1 frame to do it. Hello. You didn't have to wait for it to slide, you can just jump into it. Push you back. Let's have wood friend, the saxophone. Right, if I don't get the rhythm right, I die, by the way.
To destination.
So if you keep shooting fast enough, you will stun lock it. It will just keep getting stunned. You can just keep shooting it. What's it? And time, done. So that's Metroid Fusion 0%. Hope you enjoyed that.
Fantastic work, JRP. Up next, we have 3 Pills doing Sonic Heroes Team Sonic. We'll get that set up for you as soon as we can.